Hello everyone, this is Drist, playing Shroud of the Avatar, spiritual successor to Ultima Online. Don't forget to subscribe, you should find that link down below. Thumbs up if you like what you're seeing, and comment in the comment section. So today, I'm going to do a video talking about my build. I've been tweaking this for some time now, and I've finally settled on something that works really well for me. So I thought I'd share that with you. So real quick, let's look at my gear. I'm a mage, so this hood right here gives me plus 20 intelligence. It's an artifact, so you need those essences to repair it. And then I'm also using the Sage Sash, which is another artifact, which gives me plus 20 intelligence. So between the two of those, that's plus 40 intelligence. Because, like I said, I am a mage, so this intelligence is very, very crucial for me. And then, of course, I'm using a cloth chest piece, so I can take advantage of the light armor skills. But everything else is actually heavy armor to help with my defensive capabilities, and of course my wands here. And since I am a fire mage, so let's open up that right here. I am a fire mage, so my wands are actually specific to fire. So I got the fire attunement bonus there on both of them. And if you look at my chest piece, I have that socketed to fire as well. And this ring is a placeholder right now until I get around to crafting another one, but when I actually have one crafted, it'll also be attuned to fire as well. So looking at my skills here, I've dumped a lot of experience into the skills, so that's why I love this tree here. But as far as my actual build, let's open that up here. That's what we're here to talk about. So So what got me to thinking about running the build this way was that the fire tree is a damage over time tree. If you look at these fire arrow, it has a damage over time applied to target. This emulation, damage over time applied to target. Ring of fire, damage over time applied to target. So even this fireball, which I never use, has a damage over time applied to target. So basically, this entire tree is a dots tree, which means you get your dots on your target. You don't have to be constantly hitting them with the spell to do them damage. The dots themselves will actually be doing them damage. And for the longest time, I had this where I would have these all unlocked here, and I'd have my emulation, my ring of fire, and my fire arrow all right here. And as they would roll through, I'd stack them up and then apply them and all that stuff. And I found I was casting them a lot more than I needed. And so once I got that thought process into my head that I'm casting these way more than I need to, it got me to thinking about this process a little bit differently. So basically with Ring of Fire, all you have to do is drop it somewhere on the ground where, one, the enemies will run through it to get to you, or two, you can pull the enemies through this, or three, you can force them to stand here in the fire. And as long as that dot is on them, it'll be constantly doing damage to them. Same with this emulation. This is a damage over time that's applied on your specific person. So when somebody gets within its radius, it'll actually apply that dot to them, and it will burn them down over time as well. So with that being said, I found myself, I had my heals over here for the longest time, and I had my defense and stuff over here, and when I'd get into heavy water, I'd be spamming my heals, but then I would be running out of focus a lot. So what I ended up doing is I moved all my heals over to here, well, my healing ray and my healing touch. And so what I end up doing is, as these Ring of Fires come through, I'll stack them up here until I have a stack of 6, because I'm specialized here. And then I proceed to just spam my heals here. And since I can stack 2 or stack 3 heals together, I'm not using as much focus, and it gives me a much greater survivability out there. And I use Mind Lock to keep that stack of 6 here until I actually need it again. So I do use Healing Grace here. That's my heal over time, and I can apply that. Then I do dodge, and I do fortified defenses to kind of boost my defensive capability. And mobility is one of my things too. So I got dash and I got sprint, and in fact one of those is the reason why I switched to that cloth chest piece, because I wanted to be able to use it here. It's sprint. So being able to apply both those speed boosts really increases my ability and my mobility and my ability to stay alive. So that's why I have that cloth chest piece there. So you're wondering about emulation, right? Because I did say emulation is one of those things I use. I actually, instead of having that on my main combat bar, I actually have that on my buff deck. And the reason is, with emulation, when I have it stacked up, it'll stay on my person for a minute. The one that I use is 10 minutes or so. And so I don't have to apply it except once every 10 minutes or so, or longer. If I will show you here in a second. And because I don't have to apply it so frequently, I didn't see the point of having it on my main combat bar, and I could relegate this to my my buff deck, and then when I need to apply it again, I would just switch to the buff deck, apply it, and then switch back to my main combat bar. So let me show you something about emulation though here. So I'm going to switch over, swap my deck, and my equipment is the same on my buff deck as it is on my regular deck, because I don't want to slow down the process or anything like that. So I'm going to buff this up, and I always do a full 6 stacks in my case, since I'm specialized on fire. And once it applies to me, so I'm going to have that fire damage every 1.5 seconds, and that'll last me for 27 minutes basically. But that's not the one that's important to me. It's that fire attunement. That'll last me for 12 minutes. So basically once every 12 minutes I reapply this emulation, because I want to maintain that fire attunement, which the higher fire attunement, the greater potency my spells have. So if we look under my fire here, right now I'm sitting at 211 attunement, so that's pretty darn good. So that's why I keep that on my buff deck, and then I would just switch back to my combat deck, and then there we go. We're capable of actually doing stuff. Now, as far as this fire arrow here, I haven't mentioned this yet. It's locked, and I don't really use it as a primary damage dealing ability. I use it more to apply the dot for it to a specific targets. And I also use it to pull targets. Like if I'm going up against multiple Kabbalists, I can actually separate one of those Kabbalists away from the pack by hitting them with this fire arrow, applying the dot to them, and then moving away, and that one that has the dot on it will follow me. So I use that for crowd control a lot. So that's that. And I'm actually here in upper tiers. This is a perfect place to demonstrate this build. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to jump down there, take out the first 3 guys, and then once we're at that first wave of skeletons, we'll come back and we'll show you this build actually in action. So give me a moment, I will be right back. Alright, so we're back here, and we've taken out the first 3 guys. So I have a wave of skeletons down there, and I already have a 5 stack going on with this thing. And I'm going to wait just a moment to get that 6 stack. And we use Mind Lock to keep that stack there. And then we're going to apply that. Apply our dodge and our fortified defenses here, and there we go. So now we have our 6. So I'm going to place this here, and then I'm going to pull out here, and like I said, as ring of fire comes up, I'm going to keep stacking it, because as these guys are going to hit me, we use mobility and cover, and then we just keep hitting our heals here until the fire burns them down. And then we have 6 stacks ready to go again, using Mind Lock to keep that stack there. And then I said fire arrow was my pull things to me, so there's still 2 targets out here, and we're gonna bring those guys up to me, bring them into my fire here. And like I said, we just spam these heals to keep ourselves alive here. Maybe apply that healing grace again. And our dodge and our fortified defenses until they're done. And then we're going to drop this other one here, because we have a second wave now. And I'm going to pull down here and trigger that wave. Come back up here. And they run through my fire. Boy, I hate those stuns. Those archers will actually rip you up here. And of course, running through them applies my emulation dot too. So there we go. And now we already have 6 stacks to go. So we target that guy, hit him, target the other guy, the Archmage. And for him, it's not really meant to be a tutorial about upper tiers, but why not? I always come up here, and he'll actually come up to me. Maybe. Yep, he's still being damaged by that dot. So he's going to come up to me. And that one skeleton is there. There he is. I need him to come all the way up to me. Where's he at? There he is. So he actually teleported right into my ring of fire. That's fantastic when he does that. And it expired, but that's fine. It's still on him. And I'm going to drop this here because that wave is done. Hit my healing grace. Hit that one. And go out and trigger this next wave. Come over here. Oop. There we go. And I hate those disabling shots the archers use. They are highly disruptive to my speed. So, there we go. Got 6 stacks again with that. And once again, come down and target that guy. And there's actually a lich out there now because the next wave is our lich wave. Bring them up into the fire. And you can see how well this healing is actually doing me. So once this lich goes down, we'll have our next wave, which will be all liches. And that expired, but I'm okay with that. And I should apply my emulation, which I'm going to do after this next wave. Because it's actually under the 12 minute, so I'm not getting attunement, but, well, maybe I am for another 4 minutes. These guys are not as brutal as the skeletons, but that final wave is really brutal. That disabling shot. And stuns. Boy, I hate those stuns. There we go. They're all down. And we're going to target that guy, bring him up to me. And normally I'd be looting these guys too, because that's some good loot there. So it's, oh, got interrupted there. Hit the healing grace again. I could be stacking these, and sometimes I do to get my full stacks out of them, but sometimes I don't feel the need to. There we go. Apply our ring of fire again for the next wave. And there they are. I like to come over to here, behind the rock, so they'll come up through my fire. And then I like to run around this way to kind of throw off the archer's shots onto me. This wave feels a little stronger than the previous one. Come on. And as you can see, I'm spamming my heals pretty frequently, but my focus is doing good up there. So, and yeah, these guys are starting to do me here. There we go. They're almost dead. And target this last guy. This last wave will be a doozy. And I think my ring of fire just dropped off here. It did, so I'm going to drop it here. Kind of set up for my next wave. And this will be the final wave, this next one. And this next one, my mobility is definitely what keeps me alive. That and these heals. Being able to spam these heals. So, we have sticks there. I'm going to actually apply this right here. And I'm going to duck up into here and give me a full 5 stack here, because I'm going to need it here. And I'm going to do a full 5 stack of this. And I'm going to do a full 5 stack, and they're already coming through at me. That's fine. And then we're going to get our speed up. these guys hit pretty hard, and then they root me, and they do all kinds of stuff to me. Come on, get off the root. And I like to run up this way and pull them up here, and then run down here. Boy, my speed is really hurting right now. I like to duck back here and see they're all coming to the one side. Well, a lot of them are. Come back down here, keep running them back through the fire. Oh, don't want to lose that because I might need another stack. I am going to need it right here. I think we're past the tough part now. A lot of them are dead. I only have a couple left. We're getting low on focus there, but that's fine. We got enough to hold us out. There we go. Mobility is definitely my friend here. And we got another drop off there. And I think I'm going to drop this, even though it's not a full 6 stacks. It's close enough. That freaking mage needs to come into my fire here. He's like, right there. Right there to die. And that's it. Almost there. And that's it. There's actually one more guy still. He's all the way at the end, and usually I pull the fire arrow and bring him up to me as well. But that's good enough. I've demonstrated this particular deck and this particular build, and I use this everywhere. And it's very, very, very successful for me. It really increases my survivability to the point where I'm able to take on some really high content in this game. One other thing I want to mention, it was asked of me why I don't lock Ring of Fire and charge it up to the full 5 stacks or 6 stacks as opposed to keeping it unlocked there. Because this person's mentality was, well, the unlocked idea is gone and old news because we have this new unlock feature and it's much better than the other one. But a quick little demonstration of why I don't lock that down. So it's actually there, and I'm going to lock that on my buff deck here. And then let's switch to my buff deck. Now let's apply that, right? 6 stacks is what we're after, so 1001. Oh, I did something wrong there. Let's look at that again. Combat deck, Ring of Fire, combat deck. That's why. There we go. Now we're golden. So now let's see about charging this. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009. About 9 to 10 seconds there it took me from start to finish of applying that Ring of Fire with a full 6 stacks. As opposed to if I only had one, if I had a 6 stack already ready and I applied it, 1001, 1002, it's 2 seconds to apply it. So that difference between the 2 seconds versus 9 to 10 seconds is huge to me, where I can be interrupted or any number of things could happen in that time frame. So I find it much more effective to keep this mind lock here and just build up my stacks here and save them to when I need them, and then apply the Ring of Fire wherever I need it. So that's my reason why I don't necessarily use the lock feature in the charge for everything on my deck. So this has been Drist, Shroud of the Avatar, Spiritual Success to Ultima Online. Don't forget to subscribe. You should see that link down below. Thumbs up if you like what you're seeing, and comment in the comment section. I will see you next time.